What is up, though, Lions fans? It's your boy, Motor City Don P, here for LNU. But one thing's for sure, when you see me, you know that the Motor City Cats, we back at it. We came to give you stats, not none of that static. Whatever you do, make sure you keep your Lions news pragmatic. We got a lot to get into today. We're going to be talking about our assistant, the AI. Monsieur Gemini is going to allow us to peer behind the curtain of the NFL draft. We're going to talk about some prospects based on his breakdown or her breakdown on what they believe that or which prospects, and we're talking about defensive line prospects. We're not doing my favorite. We're not doing Jihad Campbell. We're talking about defensive line prospects. Why do they fit for the Detroit Lions? Why do they not fit for the Detroit Lions? And then we're going to go over a couple mock drafts. It's a 3-round mock draft that AI did as well. So we're just going to see how it goes. Does AI fare better than, let's say, PFF or 33rd team or any of those other people? But before we get into that, I'm going to introduce my guest. The person that's coming here today to sit down for a drink and conversation is a 3-time Grammy Award-winning Woodward Sports Network show host of the Woodward Heavyweights. He's a longtime Detroit sports fan. He's a Tigers fan. He's a Pistons fan. He's a Lions fan. He's a Red Wings fan. He's a father, a devoted father, a husband, father of 17. He's got all the kids. He's got all the wives. He's got all the children. It's Mr. Easy from the Woodward Heavyweights. What's going on, man? You like that intro?
That was a phenomenal intro. That was amazing.
You know, I had to get my club Shay
honestly,
on.
God, that's probably the best. That's probably the best intro I've ever gotten. I appreciate that.
You know, I try to make, my guests feel welcome. You know, I got my own Cavassier. No, I'm just playing. All right. All right. Let's go ahead and get to it, man. As I said, we're gonna break these things down. What up, though, to everybody in the chat? We'll be looking for your feedback as well as we break these things down. So let's go with the first set of prospects. I just had the conversation up, I just lost it. Hold on.
You good? Take your time.
All righty. Here we go. All right. So yada yada yada. All right. So the edge rushing prospects are, of course, Abdul Carter, who virtually is it's impossible. Okay. Now, a question for you, Easy. Would you be mad if Brad Holmes pulled a Ricky Williams draft for Abdul Carter?
I mean, I wouldn't be mad, but I don't think it'd be a smart idea.
Yeah, it's the only way it's gonna happen.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he'd have to do something like that, or Abdul Carter would have to, do the gas mask, couple robberies, things that would take him off the line draft board.
Well, yeah, and there would have to be a massive smear campaign. One likely ran. Yeah,
like Abdul Carter, if you want to, I know obviously the higher you pick, the more money you make. But if you want to play for a winning team, hit me up. Me and my associates will smear your name and make sure you drop 28.
Exactly. I mean, tried to do it for Ben Johnson, but I mean, he turned out to be Osama Ben Johnson anyway. So good riddance.
Yeah. It all ended up being true. That's
all.
Ben Johnson. It all ended up being true.
All of
Absolute
it.
piece of garbaggio.
Yeah. Pushing old ladies over and giggling maniacally in the middle of the street as he runs away. All that stuff was true.
Just licking dog ears for no reason. Just weird stuff.
That's crazy. Who would lick dog ears? Excuse me. All right. Then we have James Pierce Jr. We have Mike Green. We have Michael Williams, Shamar Stewart, Donovan Ezraku, The interior defensive linemen that we looked at are Mason Graham, Derek Harmon, Kenneth Grant, Walter Nolan, Tyleek Williams. Okay. Now, you knew AI was on some BS earlier because it said that the Detroit Lions were going to draft Mason Graham, which no. Okay. So sometimes you gotta know how to prompt the AI. You gotta let it know you on some BS. You're not really talking real right now.
Yeah. Wait. I said we're drafting Mason Graham at 28.
Yeah.
Oh, what
Yeah.
the hell?
Yeah. So I
Okay,
was like, I can't come on the show with that product, you know.
no.
All right. So we're not gonna do the current roster breakdown. All right, so we'll do the defensive scheme and philosophy because I think it's really interesting that AI looked into Detroit Lions defensive scheme and philosophy as to why this person would be a fit or this person would not be a fit. All right. So it says the Detroit Lions primarily operate with a 4-3 base defensive alignment. Under the leadership of their former defensive coordinator, Aaron Glenn, the team's defensive philosophy emphasized aggressively attacking the quarterback.
You still there?
I'm still there. Do you agree with that?
Yes.
All right. Through blitzes, mostly, primarily, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it would have been
All
different had we
right.
not lost 50 million people, but yeah, that's when it ended up being
Okay.
for the most part for the
All
past
right.
2 years. Yeah.
All right, so we're right so far. This approach involved a focus on generating pressure both from the edge and the interior of the defensive line. Additionally, the defensive scheme prioritized physical man coverage in the secondary. While Aaron Glenn has since been hired as the head coach of the New York Jets, the core philosophy of applying pressure on opposing quarterbacks is likely to remain a key element of the Lions' defensive identity. The expected addition of Casey Rogers as the new defensive line coach could bring specific nuances to the techniques and traits the Lions prioritize in their defensive line prospects. But the fundamental need for players who can disrupt the quarterback remains. The ability for defensive linemen to play multiple positions along the front is also a valued asset within the Lions' defensive structure. Okay, so are you agreeing with AI so far?
Yeah, I'm down.
Okay. All right. Individual prospect analysis and Detroit Lions fit. Abdul Carter, edge rusher, Penn State. Player profile and scouting summary. Abdul Carter is a junior edge rusher from Penn State. He earned first team AP All American honors and was named Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year in 2024. After transitioning from off-ball linebacker to defensive end, he led the FBS with 23 and a half tackles for loss and ranked 7th with 12 sacks, generating 64 total quarterback pressures. His strengths are that he possesses elite bursts and the ability to flatten at the top of his pass rush, leading to early wins. He has a nifty swipe rip move and can cross the face of oversetting tackles for immediate pressure. His ability to retrace underneath when quarterbacks climb the pocket is notable. He exhibits a rapid all-game intensity and explodes out of his stance. His explosiveness and body control are significant assets. He leads the FBS in PFF pass rush grade 92.4 and total pressure 66 in 2024. His speed and bend are considered elite. Would you agree with this so far?
Yes.
All right. I think AI and if you guys don't know, AI Easy has gone down the AI rabbit hole, right? He is the AI master at Woodward Sports. So for this is why I asked him to come on today because this is right up his alley. All right. So would you like to tell us how AI has changed your life?
It makes more love to me than my wife. So
You mean the wife that gave you 17 kids?
Yeah, the one that gave me 17 kids. Somehow AI is topping that, and me topping it as well.
Hey.
Uh,
All right. So now his weaknesses are Carter's average height and bulk for an edge rusher. He needs to add more muscle to handle more powerful blockers consistently. His length is not considered a strength, and he can sometimes be overwhelmed by longer, more powerful tackles, especially in the run game. Would you agree or disagree with that? I think we lost Easy. You back?
yep.
All right. So would you agree or disagree with his weaknesses?
Yeah, I agree. I agree. He's
Okay.
he's smaller. He's like a pit bull. He can still set an edge, but I think specifically for the Lions, they probably want him to be a little bit thicker. He's got that the twitch ability that you don't really teach. But he's not really collapsing the pocket like the way the Lions guys do. The way the Lions like guys too do, I should say. But I mean, given the opportunity to draft him, no, they wouldn't pass up on that, obviously.
Okay. All right, so now his fit with the Detroit Lions. Carter's explosive pass rushing ability would immediately address the Lions' need for consistent pressure off the edge to complement Aiden Hutchinson. His intensity and knack for making plays align with the aggressive philosophy of the defense. While his lack of ideal size might be a concern against stronger offensive lines, the athleticism and pass rush prowess could make him a valuable addition as a 3-4 rush linebacker in the Lions scheme. His ability to win with speed and bend could provide a different dimension to the Lions pass rush. So basically, I believe they feel 3-4 rush linebacker is the same as a Sam.
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
Okay.
kind of, yeah, less than me. But he probably playing on the line for us. I mean, I don't know. I've got thought too deep into like what he'd look like with us because he's not gonna follow us, but he would definitely be an interesting prospect. He's something I haven't really seen on the Lions before outside of James Houston.
See, there you go. James Houston. Now, James Houston had a lot of haters, and James Houston had a big fan club. Now, I'm just saying, if you produce 8 sacks in 7 games, I would have kept him around. I'm just saying. I understand they wanted him to do other stuff, but 8 sacks in 7 games is phenomenal.
Yeah, I don't know if he ever came back from that injury the way he's playing to. I think he may have lost his step a little bit.
So then that's the question, right? I've heard this before. Are we now considering that Hutch will just come right back?
Yes, I think it's a different injury. The Hutch is just the bones.
Mm-hmm.
With him, it was like an ankle, a lower extremity like that. Like that's gonna affect your explosiveness, you know. And that's like
Right.
what he relied on. It was like he was doing much other than the insane bend, you know.
Mm-hmm.
When your ankles go, that's tough to do.
Yeah. And I think they did like a tightrope surgery as well.
Something like that. Yeah, I get too in depth with what they did for the surgery, but uh, I know he must not have looked the same coming back because what he was able to do before is undeniable. He didn't really bring that back when he came back. He fractured his ankle. Yeah, and a bone
Yeah.
bruise.
Fan says one hit wonder.
Yeah, I mean,
uh
had he stayed healthy, maybe he could have been more than one hit wonder. But unfortunately,
yeah, well everyone had that problem last year. Um so let's look at Mason Graham. That's the next one. Player profile. Scouting summary. Mason Graham is a junior defensive tackle from Michigan. He was a dominant interior defender over the past 2 seasons, earning first team AP All-American honors in 2024. He led all FBS defensive linemen with a 92.6 PFF run defense grade in 2024. Um, and this is why we believe that the Jacksonville Jaguars will not draft him because he's too good. All right, his strengths. Graham possesses exceptional first step quickness, making interior disruption inevitable. He has an instant read and response to beat lateral blocks and is stout at the point of attack with great leverage and body control. His activity level and foot quickness compensate for a lack of length as a rusher. He plays with a nonstop motor and easy movement, getting into blockers quickly. His compact power with an instant punch is notable, and he has lateral quickness to penetrate gaps. As a former wrestler, he has a natural feel for leverage. He excels in block destruction and has lateral range to make plays. His burst and explosiveness are remarkable for his size. Would you agree with this?
For the most part, yeah.
All right. So his weaknesses. Graham has shorter than ideal arm length, 32 inches. His lack of length can make it tougher to find quick wins as a rusher and can be a disadvantage against wide bodies. He may lose some ground against a double teams and doesn't have a dominant bull rush. He can end up on the ground more than desired. Would you agree with
I,
that?
I agree. I don't think he's as much of a pass rusher that a lot of people think he's going to end up being. I think he is. I mean, I'd be willing to be wrong on this too, but I think he might almost need like a Kenneth Grant type dude next to him. Like he might need that guy to consume double teams for him to be
He
effective as a
might
pass
need DJ
rusher.
Reader.
Might need DJ Reader.
Okay. All right, I feel that. All right, fit with the Detroit Lions. Graham's strengths in run defense and interior disruption align well with the Lions' existing defensive strengths and their need for interior pass rush. His quickness and leverage could make him an immediate contributor as a three technique defensive tackle in their 4-3 scheme. While his shorter arms might present some challenges, his overall athleticism and relentless motor could mitigate these limitations. His ability to penetrate and disrupt would fit well with the Lions' philosophy of attacking the quarterback. I like this short arm thing makes me think of the T-Rex arms.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think it's that big of a deal.
No, I don't think it is either. I mean, you see what he can do on tape. It's that's Hutch had short arms, and obviously that hasn't come into play at all. So I think that stuff's a little oversold.
Yeah, there were people within the community that were banging on Hutch and his short arms and didn't think he would work out to be anything. Those same people also thought that the Kansas City Chiefs wouldn't even make the playoffs last year. So it is what it is. Some people just spew hot takes. We on fire. If y'all are too young in the chat, y'all don't know. All right. But if you know, you know. Hashtag if you know, you know. All right. The next one is Jalen Walker, Edge, Georgia. Now we're starting to get into people that might be available for the Detroit Lions. What do you think about Jalen Walker before I get into his profile and strengths and weaknesses?
So I wasn't in love with him at all. I'm still not in love with him per se, but I just he's he's profiled to be a Micah Parsons if he succeeds. That's another guy with short arms. Micah Parsons, by the way, another guy with short arms. I think he has like 31.5-inch arms. He's like killing it in the NFL. But like Walker, man, he's not really an edge. He's also not really a linebacker. It's like where are you gonna play him? I think he plays at like 237 or something like that. So like it's, again, not necessarily an edge by trade, but if in the right system, in the right like 3-4 type of thing, or if he's just like Micah Parsons 2.0, like yeah, it could work out. But I think there's a lot. I think there's a lot of boomer bust there with Walker. My personal opinion.
Yeah. No, I agree with you because when I did the profile of and it just so happened, I don't remember how I made this list, but I made a list and I did Jihad Campbell, Jalen Walker, and I think it was Demetrius Knight. And I felt like, huh?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. I felt like Campbell was complete while the other two did one thing well. Like I think Jalen Walker was the one that was able to kind of rush the passer, but he didn't really play the run too well. And then Demetrius Knight played the run perfectly, but he can't get to the passer. So I thought that Jihad Campbell was a better value than either one of them.
Yeah, I don't hate that take at all. I think what he provides in coverage. I think it's just like yeah, no, I like G.I. Campbell a lot. I would put him over Jalen Walker as well.
Yeah, Jihad Campbell is that dude.
Yeah, I mean you gotta have like a specific niche or defensive coordinator who could create that niche for Walker to be what he's valued at by a lot of teams.
Yeah, for him to be Micah Parsons 2.0.
Yeah, a lot of people are high on him.
All right, let's see how high or low um, AI is. So the player profile and scouting summary. Jalen Walker is a junior edge rusher from Georgia. He won the 2024 Butkus Award as the nation's top linebacker after a breakout season with 10 and a half tackles for loss and 6.5 sacks. He is versatile across the front seven, logging snaps at both inside linebacker and on the edge. Um, Now, when he was again as an outside linebacker, I didn't see any real coverage snaps. I didn't see any ability to cover. So he would just be primarily an edge.
Yep.
All right. His strengths are that he possesses an explosive first step and a detailed pass rush plan. He is a fluid mover with good change of direction and functional strength. His athletic profile suggests he could be a versatile front seven defender. He has the burst and length to rush the passer off the edge. His weaknesses are Walker has limited play experience as a full time edge rusher. His size, 6'1, 243, might be a concern as a traditional edge rusher, and he might be undersized against 300-pound offensive tackles in the run game. His instincts off the ball are still developing. Um, Fit with the Detroit Lions, Walker's versatility and pass rushing potential could be intriguing for the Lions. His explosiveness and ability to win the speed with speed could complement the power rush of players like Pascal. However, his lack of size and experience as a dedicated edge rusher might limit his immediate impact in the Lions' 4-3 scheme, especially against the run in a division with strong ground games. He might be better suited as a rotational pass rusher initially while he develops his run defense skills. Now, where is he traditionally mocked? Because I think he's mocked pretty high.
Yeah, I've seen him all the way up at like 5 and stuff.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like a player you want to take at number 5.
Yeah, not me personally. I saw a lot of mocks with him going to Carolina, which I feel like I guess could make sense because they got Derek Brown and that's kind of it. They got and he could eat double teams and he could roam around and get and find a one-on-one matchup to expose. But he also doesn't really have much of a game plan in the pass rush. He could be good, but like I said, it's got to be the right spot for sure. He's not just like a surefire. Could draft him anywhere.
Okay. Now, I just want to know, are you sitting down?
Yes.
Are you relaxed?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Because we're about to talk about something that's going to get you excited. The next prospect on the board
Oh
is
Lord.
none other than Shamar Stewart, Edge, Texas A&M.
Oh Lord.
uh, I don't know if you watch the Dreamers Pro Show. Have you ever heard of this show before?
No.
Okay, it's this dude. He does a lot of LeBum topics, like he doesn't like him at all. So he talks about people in the media torquing it up for him and slapping each other with honey.
Wait, what?
And I feel like that's what you're doing with Shamar Stewart.
Lapping him up with honey?
Yeah, you twerking it up and rubbing honey on yourself.
Oh man, what? Hell no.
Pause.
I'm only doing that for my AI girlfriend.
Well, there you go. But that's how he describes people, you know, who are always fawning over LeBum there. You know,
That's crazy
you
calling him a
you
bum.
know I'm no fan.
Yeah.
All right. So Shamar Stewart will do the player profile and scouting summary. Shamar Stewart is a junior edge rusher from Texas A&M. He was a key contributor in 2024, earning third team All SEC honors. He possesses positional versatility and length off the edge. So you see, it wasn't a glowing review like the others got. And this is why I was saying when I responded to your tweet from LNU about, yeah, it's no problem if you're getting a guy that needs some development at number 28. But if you're trading up, how far are you trading up? And who else could you get in that spot? You know what I mean?
Hmm.
All right. So the strengths, Stewart is carved from granite. Okay. With a rare combination of size, length, and explosiveness. He has a good first step, burst, and bend to create danger in the gaps. His strength allows him to drive lateral blocks into the backfield, and he has exceptional chase speed. His speed to power rush can knock pass setting tackles off their mark. He dominated at the Senior Bowl and had one of the best performances at the Combine. Is this spot on?
What was the part before the combine?
Um, he dominated at the Senior Bowl and had one of the best performances at the Combine.
Oh, yes.
Okay. All right. His weaknesses. Stewart hasn't fully learned to weaponize his hands to control the point of attack. His lack of production relative to his traits is a concern. He can get knocked off course by the long poke of a tackle and occasionally runs out of gas due to his hard charging style.
I don't agree.
You don't agree. What do you not agree with?
I don't think he runs out of his gaps. I think he's pretty well maintained in his gaps. That's part of the reason he don't get after the quarterback like people want.
It said run out of gas
Oh, run out of gas, place of
due
gaps.
to his hard charging style.
I guess I have to go and watch a full game to be honest with you to get that answer. It's not really peeped out so far. No, but I mean, I'm
We
sure it's possible. You know.
I think we did get that from Mike Green. I think we said that about him.
Hmm.
Mike Green's motor is revved up so high that sometimes he gets tired.
Yeah,
All right.
he's a
So
small
the
guy.
fit with the huh?
He's a small guy. He's got to exert a lot out there, especially in the run game.
Yeah. All right. Fit with the Detroit Lions. Stewart's impressive physical traits and athleticism are exactly what the Lions might be looking for on the edge opposite Hutchinson. His size and explosiveness could make him a disruptive force. However, his need for refinement in hand usage and consistency might mean he requires some development before reaching his full potential in the Lions scheme. His potential as a disruptive player in both phases makes him an intriguing option. So what were your thoughts on what is your masterpiece, your Picasso picture of Shamar Stewart and Hutch together? Like what kind of production do you think if Shamar Stewart reaches his ceiling? What is your prediction?
I think it's kind of similar to what you seen out of Trayvon Walker in Jacksonville. I think he'd be like an 8 to 10 to 12 sack guy. I think more importantly though, he allow Hutch to see less blockers. Um, I talked about this a little bit last week in the heavyweights, but like if at first I was selling him as a guy that's going to eat blockers or guys gonna have one-on-one matchups while Hutch eats blockers, which would probably be the case either way. But like last year when Hutch is healthy, and even going back 2 years ago too, like they line him up out wide, almost like damn near like a wide nine, because they're trying to get him in those one-on-one matchups. And so you want guys on next to him. They're going to require double teams. Lee McNeil, DJ Reader, and Marcus Davenport were supposed to be that. So I think Marcus Davenport is probably the basement Shamar Stewart, maybe even a little less than that, because I do think Marcus Davenport is good when healthy. He's just never healthy. But yeah, I think either way, vice versa. He's opening up things for Hutch. Hutch opening up things for him. I think he's probably one of the best run defenders at the edge position in the draft class right now. Um, I know a lot of people like worry about the production, but I got Ezekiel Hansa came in here with like nothing. Did not, can you teach me the football type, And we did teach him the football type, and he got the 8 sacks that very first year. You say the same for Neil Hunter, Cam Robinson last year. On top of the fact that A&M is like a gap responsible defense, Walter Nolan was there before Ole Miss and wasn't considered like a high draft prospect. He leaves there, goes to Ole Miss, so he's able to get after the quarterback a little bit more, and now he's talking about taking him first round. I believe Nick Scordon, his teammate, had like 10 sacks at Purdue. Then he comes to A&M, has to put on extra weight, and then he falls down to, I think it was 4 or 5 sacks he had like last year. It's the scheme, and there's some developmental issues too. Like I don't think he's great at finishing. I do think he can over pursue every once in a while when he gets there. But at 28, I mean that's what you're getting, like a guy you can mold. By the way, too, you're not drafting him to be like people are talking about like they nitpick it like you're taking him 10 overall. Like, that's not the case at all. Like we're taking him back half of the draft, probably within the 20s if it does happen, if he slides that far, maybe 18, probably the highest I'm willing to go for him. But it's a guy that could develop into something really, really nice for you, and I think he can play right now sparingly if he's splitting snaps with Marcus Davenport. And even if Marcus Davenport pulls Marcus Davenport and ends up missing a couple of games, I have full confidence in Shamar Stewart to step in and play, or even play like a NASCAR package as well too, because he plays inside as well. So I think Shamar would be a dog. I think it's a perfect fit for him, perfect place for him to come develop, because at minimum he could bull rush a passer and collapse the pocket, and that's what we're asking our guys to do outside of Hutch. Well, Hutch too, though.
You about to get me triggered. I'm just, I had you with the what you talking about, Willis? You said Marcus Davenport pulling a Marcus Davenport missing a couple games. A couple?
Yeah.
He did that once in his career, my friend. A couple.
Yeah. I know.
He don't play a lot of football. Love him. Love, you know what I mean? Pause. Great athlete, great football player, but not available.
Yeah.
All right. So I know you don't have a whole lot of time, so we're gonna skip ahead to the mock draft. Now, what I asked the AI to do was to do a 3-round mock draft and to tell us every pick that's made or trades or whatever. However, only explain the Detroit Lions pick. Sound good?
Okay.
All right. So we're just gonna go through. Tennessee takes Abdul Carter, number 1. Cleveland Browns, Travis Hunter, number 2. New York Giants, Shador Sanders, number 3. New England Patriots, Mason Graham, number 4. Jacksonville Jaguars, Will Campbell. Number 6, Las Vegas Raiders, Ashton Genty. Okay, now you notice there's a name that hasn't been called yet. It's kind of weird. All right. New York Jets take Jalen Walker. I don't agree with this, especially because of the name that has not been called. Carolina Panthers take Tyler Warren. The New Orleans Saints take Michael Williams. Again, don't know about that one. Chicago Bears take Armand Mimbo. San Francisco 49ers take Will Johnson. Dallas Cowboys, T-Mac. Did you hear the thing about T-Mac? Did you see the video when the dude was talking about, I don't watch film, I don't like to watch film, I don't watch myself? Did you see that?
No, I did not. I didn't hear him say that.
Guys need to stop doing that, right? You're about to get drafted. Just lie. Be like, yeah, I watch film all the time. You know,
Yeah.
I eat, sleep, drink, and pee film. Ask me anything about the film. Just ask me off camera though. But ask me anything about film. I know everything about film. All right. So T-Mac goes to the Dallas Cowboys, number 13. The Miami Dolphins select Malachi Starks. I just had to roll back up to the top to see if I missed, because somebody, I don't know if you've noticed it, somebody has fallen way down. The Indianapolis Colts at number 14 take Jihad Campbell. The Atlanta Falcons at 15 take Mike Green. Arizona Cardinals take Luther Burden, number 3. Luther Burden the third, number 16. Cincinnati Bengals take Shamar Stewart. The Seattle Seahawks takes James Pierce Jr. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers take Donovan Jackson. The Denver Broncos take Colston Loveland. Pittsburgh Steelers take Kenneth Grant. Los Angeles Chargers take Josh Simmons. Green Bay Packers, Derek Harmon. Minnesota. Now, here's where AI strikes. Are you ready for this?
Okay.
The Minnesota Vikings take Bo Nix, quarterback, Oregon.
Oh, hell no. What the hell?
All right. So let's just see what happened for the rest, and I'm gonna substitute that name with Cam Ward. I believe that the AI forgot about Cam Ward, which is why he was not mentioned in the first round at all. So we're gonna say the Minnesota Vikings selected Cam Ward, which would be crazy, right? Again, the Houston Texans select Darius Robinson, edge out of Missouri from last year. So we just hopping in and out.
What the hell?
Yeah. The Los Angeles Rams take Tyler Booker. The Baltimore Ravens take safety Malachi Starks. All right. With the 28th overall pick in the 2020 NFL draft. Oh, let me get my thing together. All right. Did that cut out for you as well?
No.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. And mine cut out. All right. With the 28th overall pick in the 2025 NFL draft, the Detroit Lions addressed their need for a dynamic pass rusher opposite Aiden Hutchinson by selecting James Pierce Jr., edge Tennessee. Now, guess what? The Seattle Seahawks also selected James Pierce Jr.
Oh, my goodness.
See, this is, and anybody that doesn't know about AI and they think that AI has all the answers and that's why they're going to run things. No, AI is imperfect. Okay. AI has had one person drafted twice in this round to two different teams. They've had two guys that were from last year get drafted this round. I guess their teams didn't want them anymore. So they're just like, all right, Bo Nix, you go back into the draft where it's a new NFL where you can do things like that. So I'll read the breakdown or the rundown. So it says the Lions, coming off a highly successful 2024 season with a 15-2 record, find themselves in a fortunate position where they can target a high upside player to further bolster their defense, while the offensive line has a potential need at guard and the defensive tackle position could use future depth. The opportunity to add a difference maker on the edge is too compelling to pass up. I hope Brad Holmes feels the same way. Because if James Pierce is there, we understand the character concerns and all these things. But if he's there, take him. Especially if other people are gone. So it says James Pierce Jr. possesses an exceptional combination of athleticism and pass rushing prowess that makes him an ideal fit for the Lions' defensive scheme, which under former coordinator Aaron Glenn prioritized attacking the quarterback. Pierce's explosive first step is widely regarded as one of the best in the draft class. His speed and burst off the line of scrimmage consistently put offensive tackles at an immediate disadvantage. This ability to generate quick pressure is precisely what the Lions need to complement Hutchinson's power and technique. Pierce's impressive pressure rate in the SEC over the past two seasons further underscores his potential to be a disruptive force in the NFL. So I want to ask you a question about his character concerns. With a person like that, and then you look at Jalen Carter, who could have been like sued for wrongful death, right? Because he was involved in the racing incident where two people lost their lives. And then he lied to the police about it. What do you think is so bad about James Pierce that he's projected to fall even further than Jalen Carter? And we know what happened with Jalen Carter.
He's uncoachable. He's uncoachable. He's got anger issues. That's just the stuff that I've been able to collect. It's tough because like you don't get to talk to these guys, or like you don't get to sit down and have these interviews. But that's what's being said. Like I believe I read somewhere that the Tennessee program breathed a sigh of relief when he left. So it's not like he's like an absolute pain in the ass. And this ain't Jalen Carter. Like in all fairness, Jalen Carter too. Like not all fairness to him, but like Jalen Carter was like he's supposed to go number 3 overall before all that stuff happened. You know, like he was seen as like a generational prospect. I don't know if that's the same here with James Pierce Jr. because there are some questions in terms of like the run game and whatnot. But most of it's kind of like uncoachable traits. I think the biggest sign of that too, as silly as it sounds, but like the combine, it's the biggest job interview of your life. You forgot your jersey. You forgot the jersey that helps them track your speeds, that helps them like do their job, and like and you're you know what I'm saying. And I'm sure he has an agent that reminded him about it, or you know was willing to go get it, and he just kind of wanted to do his own thing because he believes he's that good, and he is really good. I think he could be very good here. I know he's like not the weight that we typically see in Detroit at defensive end, but I think he could put that on. I think he has tremendous like get off. Um, I'd almost rather have him lined up wide than Hutch in that situation too, because of that speed. But there's also questions about him and his longevity too, in terms of like just going all game, because he only played limited snaps. He's more like a DPR guy at times.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think a lot of the stuff I've been hearing is just he's like uncoachable. He's kind of an asshole, like in terms of just like hard to deal with.
Uh, I mean that's crazy that you'd be going into the NFL, which seems like something that you've worked for your entire life, and now you have the opportunity to go there, and I don't know, he's just arrogant.
Hmm.
That's crazy. All right, so let's skip to the second round. Now, again, this is where AI gets crazy.
Okay.
All right, are you ready for this?
Yes.
All right, with the 60th pick. All right. I don't know why it keeps cutting off, but whatever. With the 60th pick of the NFL draft, the Detroit Lions select Derek Harmon, defensive tackle, Oregon.
That'd be dope.
At
That'd be
60?
awesome. I mean, it's not gonna happen, but shit.
That's what I'm saying. That would be awesome. Yeah, James Pierce Jr. and Derek Harmon. Come on now. We talking about Super Bowl instantly. Um, yeah. And then in the third round pick, they traded with Seattle, or it says from Seattle through the New York Jets and Las Vegas. The third round pick, the 92nd overall selection, acquired via trade. The Detroit Lions add valuable depth to their cornerback room by selecting Quincy Riley, cornerback, Louisville.
I like him.
All right. For those of you guys who don't know him, I'll read a little bit about him. It says Quincy Riley possesses intriguing traits that make him a worthwhile selection in the third round. He has demonstrated the ability to be a ball hawking cornerback with a knack for interceptions and pass breakups. His athleticism is evident in his combine testing, showcasing the explosiveness needed to compete at the NFL level. While some analysts might have cooled on him slightly, his film still reveals a player with good instincts and ball skills. Riley's potential fit with the Lions' defensive scheme, which under former coordinator Glenn they don't know Kelvin Shepard is the new one. Often featured man coverage could be a good match. His ability to play the ball and his willingness to compete could make him a valuable asset as a rational quarterback and potential future starter. So, if this is your draft for the first 3 rounds, what are your predictions for this defense?
I think we get off the quarterback. I think we wouldn't have to blitz nearly as often, which would put us in better situations for coverage and get after quarterback. Probably be more effective blitzing in that situation. I think this would be. I mean, Derek Harmon second round. Obviously, that ain't gonna happen, but this would be a phenomenal draft.
Yeah, I think it would be phenomenal, but it's crazy because you can't draft James Pierce twice. And also, I don't think Derek Harmon, if Derek Harmon is available in the second round, it's definitely not going to be pick number 60.
Mm-hmm. That ain't
All right.
happening.
There is another draft, and this one, the Tennessee Titans did take Cam Ward, number 1. The Detroit Lions selected Michael Williams. There was no trade. They just sat there and took Michael Williams. It says with the 28th pick, the Detroit Lions select Michael Williams, an edge rusher from Georgia. Williams possesses a rare blend of athleticism and physical traits that align with the Lions' preference for high potential players in the trenches. While his sack production at Georgia might not jump off the page, his ability to generate pressure and disrupt opposing offenses is evident on film. He played through an ankle injury in his final season, which may have impacted his overall numbers, suggesting there is still significant untapped potential. So, if I'm correct, you aren't as high on Michael Williams as you are on Shamar Stewart, or am I off on that?
No, that's fairly correct. I mean, they're in the same category. I don't think Mikel's as explosive, but he's a lot more younger. The injury history is a little bit concerning for me personally. Um, Given like the longer limbs, like I feel like guys like that, those injuries are that stuff's harder to come back from, you know. But no, I like Mikel Williams. He may even get taken before us. But I'd be cool with that too. Mikel Williams and Lions that'd be great. I like Shamar more because of his burst and the stuff you can't teach. Mikel has a little bit of that too, not in terms of burst, but like the length. Um, but he's very young and he played last year on an injured ankle. So to produce what he did last year, a stacked defense, I still with the injury to me is impressive and shows me he loves ball. And that's obviously Brad Holmes and love guys that are like that.
Okay, cool. Now, the next pick is again some AI silliness. We selected Christian Mahogany in the second round.
All right, man. That's crazy.
And we also selected Maxwell Harrison, cornerback out of Kentucky, uh, with no trades and the number 102 overall pick in the third round.
Yeah, I mean, they're saying this guy's going freaking top 10 or not
Yeah,
top 10, first round. I'm sorry.
yeah. So some of these things are they are pretty ridiculous. Um, but yeah, if you gotta go, I'll let you go. If you want to hang out and talk a little bit more, we can do that.
For sure. I just pulled up to the crib, so I'm about to go get in there and make sure I get these clips done so I can watch the rest of that Pistons game too. But I appreciate you
Okay.
having me, man. It's been a minute.
No problem. Say what up to all 17 of your children for me.
Well, I think you just went up two there. I thought we had 15.
No, you were at 17.
Oh, well, I will say what up to each one individually uh, for you.
All right, no problem. Appreciate you joining us again. Once again, guys, that is easy. Um, and he has to go and feed his family of 36. So we will see him next time.
I'll see you, brother.
All right, peace. All right, guys. Let me get to the chat because I have neglected the chat. But as you can see, we had a lot of craziness going on with the AI. AI does the draft. Also, AI does the redraft, apparently. But I think it was pretty good as far as talking about the prospects, what their strengths and their weaknesses were. Don't think they were off base at all with any of that. It was just once you start asking AI to do tasks that are kind of like long, you see the room for error that it has. All right. So uh K Press asks where the F I've been at. I've been here all around. Good evening, Jonathan Anton. Chris Bird says, what up, fellas? And I'm going through all of y'all's messages. Um, King, President Chef, and King are the most, what did that say? Ignore Detroit Lions content creators. I guess we ignore all the stuff. Alan Nelson, hey, y'all. Howdy from the Michigan girl in Oklahoma. That's Michelle Zinger. My buddy Easy is here. Wow. Williams is my choice. I've watched Williams is my choice. I've watched him since high school. That is some Brad Holmes type stuff, actually. Um, let's see here. All right, a lot of people saying we're taking offensive line at 28. Now here's the thing: if we were to take offensive line at 28, there is and I forgot to mention this to Easy, but they were talking about all of the visits that they've had with Josiah Stewart. Josiah Stewart has been visited with, interviewed 3 times by the Detroit Lions. Guess who the last person was that got interviewed and visited with at every turn? And we're talking about virtual visits, we're talking about combine visits, we're talking about pro day visits. That was one Sione Vake. So they showed their hand on that one. I think they're showing their hand on Josiah Stewart as well. So look for them to try to grab him in the second round. Uh Devin Davis, next time we'll try to turn it up for you. Make sure you can hear it. Robbie Haycoop says Lions National Unite. Let's go. Michelle Zinger says, saw a video of Hutch running today. It was awesome. Yeah, I need to get that video saved so I can be like me when I don't know, some like Red Lobster has a sale or something. Just run out. It said, we need that Cliff Averill type edge to complement Hutch. I would not be opposed to that at all. Mr. Detroit City says, "My girl has short arms. Not a problem. Trust me. I feel you." Uh, Michigan D lineman with short arms. Jags be like, no thanks. Yeah, same thing with Hutch, right? Timothy Douglas Van Horn says, "Can we stay away from the GA boys? They have been busty the last couple of years." Not the ones drafted by the Eagles. Shout out Gun Guy. Take your pants off. If Michelle Zingler comes back and watches the stream, appreciate you for coming through and hanging out when you could. Let's see. Zach J says, "Man, the next few weeks need to hurry up." You are correct, sir. Stewart and Hutch would be scary. What are the odds that we actually draft at 28? I'd say they're pretty low. If we look at last season, we were at what, 29? Um, yeah, we traded out of that quick. So we went up to 24 and got Terry on. So I guess it just depends on how the draft is falling, when Brad would like to trade up. But remember last year, the first defensive player was selected was Leatu Latu at number 14. Yeah, I didn't want to be blowing my nose all on camera. LOL, Bo Nick's gonna start over JJ. uh, Adam Washington says AI fail, big fail. He's gonna play for both teams. Let's see. Jessifan says AI is stone. Robbie Haycoop says, "I found this channel because of Lions Nation Unite, and I am now a subscriber. Keep up the good work." I appreciate you, Robbie Haycoop. 100% appreciate that. Salty Pork Chop says, "What up, though, Chef and Easy? What up, though, Salty Pork Chops?" Uh, and then he started talking about some nonsense very, very quickly. Um, DDD, please, right? Defense, 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 defense. All right. Are there any more questions? Anybody got mailbag questions, anything of that nature? Because I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here and get back to work if you don't have any more. So let me know. Tactical Sports says, "I'm here but doing homework." I feel you, no problem, big dog. Um, I have some developments. I have some developments. Um, for our big mock draft that we're trying to do with the 32 people. Um, I am currently developing an app. I don't know if it will be able to handle all the 32 people, but I will probably know by the end of the week. So I have to test it and all of these things. Um, but yeah. So you guys would not need to subscribe to um walk the mock, but you would probably just send me some super chats or something just for developing it, and that would be fine. So, um, yeah, once again, if you are in the Discord, if you want to join the Discord so that you can participate in the big mock, let me know. I will paste the link to the Discord here. And once again, just like Robbie Haycoop did, make sure you go over to Motor City Cats after the show, subscribe, smash the like button, share, do all of those things to help the channel grow. And I appreciate everyone for coming through, hanging out, bearing with me through my sickness. I wasn't gonna come on today, but I was like, hey, it's LNU, so let me make sure that I do it. But I appreciate you guys once again. Motor City Cats, back at it. Came to give you stats, none of that static. Whatever you do, make sure you keep your Lions news pragmatic. And as always, we're on the lookout for this sound. Okay. It failed again. For me, I don't know what it sounded like for you guys. But we are out of here. Peace.